When he finally escaped and was returning to the surface, defeated, having endured insane temperatures that only thanks to his gold beast he could withstand, and that could be called torture, his body still ached with the memory of that heat. Having suffered the constant stalking of powerful beasts, luck finally smiled upon him, this time for real. He found that small vein at 350 meters, perfect for his purposes. He couldn't believe it. Below, he had found 3 others, as they were more common the further down, but all were guarded by beasts leagues above their real depth rank, impossible for him to defeat. He was sure not even the ridiculous Platinum King of Yano could defeat them. Small mana vein outlets were extremely rare at that height, but there it was. So he returned to the depth of 1,000 meters for 2 silver rank hydras, difficult to find without golden rank company, but much easier to find and defeat than stealing the egg. If he had known there would be a vein, he would have done this from the beginning. He eliminated the first to obtain its core and weakened the second. Worthy opponents, even 1 rank below him, but manageable, thanks to him being a double tamer. It was easy to drag the weakened one with his griffin to feed from the vein, and to keep it guarding and molding the core until it became an egg while he obtained more scorpion cores. Everything had been meticulously calculated. The core would need weeks to recover enough energy to become an egg next to the hydra. The hydra would guard until he returned with the rest of the cores. Taking it would be easy when it had low energy, even if it had reached gold rank. But now, the next stretch of tunnel showed signs of recent activity. Fused worms and living tunnels had been excavating new routes, expanding territory, but something wasn't right. The excavation patterns were erratic, as if the beasts had been fleeing. Claw marks and pulverized rock told a story of panic and hasty escape. His steps accelerated. No, he thought while running, it's too soon. His calculations had been precise. The silver hydra should barely have reached gold. The egg should have barely formed. It couldn't have hatched. Worry grew when he found the first signs of massive destruction. Demolished walls, collapsed tunnels, traces of energy discharged against rock. Beast bodies lay scattered, some partially consumed. The hydra had been hunting, spending energy it shouldn't have. Someone had interfered. Someone had provoked the hydra to spend energy it shouldn't have in a chase toward the surface. After observing them for so long, attempting the same thing, he knew there could only be one reason. Someone had stolen the egg. When he reached the geyser chamber, he stopped dead. Empty. The massive crystal was still there, pulsing with pure mana, but there was no sign of the hydra or the egg. He hated being right this time. Impossible! The hippogriff's wings manifested, reflecting their tamer's fury while examining the empty chamber. So much effort, so many resources spent, so many risks taken, all ruined because some had stumbled upon his experiment before time. Who would have thought the mana vein would be so close to an exterior entrance? But there was no point in being angry. Fury was replaced by cold determination. He would find the responsible party, and when he did... The scorpion manifested its plates while he began the ascent. The work his king in Yino had given him was too important to allow interference. His princess would obtain that hydra, and the cores must reach their destination. Yano must not suspect anything until it was too late. But at least he could go out for a while to take in the sunlight and recover his egg. Stealthy. The girl in the tree decided to investigate. The entrance guard didn't even notice her pass. Shadows were her natural allies, though not in the way many would assume. As always, her beast could transport her to any point in her line of sight, a gift far more versatile than most beasts, though she wasn't the only one who could do it. Her 2 cousins in class could too. How funny it had been that it ended up like this for all 3. So much effort to keep ourselves hidden, she thought while descending through the first levels. Her group had carefully dispersed throughout the classroom, mixing with normal students, subtly exchanging handmaidens when forming teams. And yet, a sigh escaped her lips. All that precaution had been useless when the enemy kingdom's eyes had so easily identified 4 of their 6 main targets in one classroom. Though, without doubt, Klein's group were idiots bad at hiding it. The last 2 of them would probably be discovered soon too at this rate. The mine's upper level was practically deserted. Students had exhausted the accessible veins. The few students who usually dug weren't here this early. The mushroom boy had caused quite a stir, but she wouldn't hear gossip because there was almost no one, unfortunately. At 100 meters, nothing changed. The mana wasn't bothering her yet either. Her beast, though technically iron rank, was an exceptional specimen, the type that only the most privileged families could afford. At 150 meters, she found the first signs of something extraordinary. The descent tunnel had been blocked, but the barrier showed signs of a devastating impact. Rock melted and crystallized. A beam attack, it seemed, from a high-rank beast. A guard hidden behind the rocks, quite frightened. The slope was frozen. She had to look through the gap and appear far away so he wouldn't see her, though he really wasn't paying much attention. The guard was more occupied trembling and hugging his beast with unintelligible murmurs. Had Ren really gone down so far? How could someone with a spore survive that? She wondered while silently advancing. She thought it would just be another case of juvenile stupidity, but maybe this hadn't had anything to do with him. The destruction became more evident as she descended. At 250 meters, the mana grew denser. Her beast was superior to most in its rank, but even it had limits. She could already feel the pressure building, and the fused worms at this depth were truly massive, their segmented bodies casting grotesque shadows in the dim yellow light. The tunnels here were wider, the work of greater worms and living tunnels, but it seemed the enormous beasts had hastily abandoned their galleries, half-built structures telling the story of a panicked flight. Something had scared even these territorial creatures from their domains. One suddenly emerged from a hole and nearly crushed her against a wall, forcing her to perform 2 consecutive blinks to evade its segmented body. The effort made her stop to catch her breath behind a rock formation, the mana pressing against her senses like a physical weight. When she was given her mission, she hadn't expected to do this kind of thing. The worst part was that no one would know. No one except her handmaidens, of course. The thought almost made her smile. The girls everyone believed were simple, noble followers were much more than they appeared. Cousins and handmaidens.
Hey amazing viewers, it's Renz here. Thanks for sticking with us. By the time of the release of this video, only 6.9% of our viewers have joined the party by subscribing, and 93.1% of you might miss out on our next mind-blowing video. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the exclusive club.